was he had. I don't know about this. I don't know about this class. We'll but he was having us do like 3 courses of solo. Like we got to the point where we could do 3 courses of solo. So
That's cool.
that was kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, the progression's like, pretty common.
So we're just waiting for vocals, and we'll be able to start. If it looks like they're not going to make it, we'll ask Dan to play the melody. Was that a blues in F? What key was that?
A.
Okay, let me hear F minor. Do you know the melody, Dan? Okay. So we can actually start to work on the intro, because class time started. So let's try to work on the intro by the singer's time before the first performance. Any questions about the intro?
How do you count the rest?
So in the chart, we're just going to play, I'm counting 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, in 6/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm kind of feeling it like 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4. So that way I just count it as like 1 pulse. And that's before the do-ba-da, boo-ba-da, boo-ba-da. Are you talking about measure 12 or measure 8?
I was talking about measure 1.
Oh, measure 1. Oh, I see. So that's 2 bars of drums. I'm going to count like this. 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, So if you're feeling this, the pulse of 6/8, there's 4 of them. But his hands are going to play this typical bell pattern. It's like 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4. But since the chart is 6/8, you just go a 1, a 2, a 1, a 2. Ding, ding, ding.
Okay.
That's after my count on. So let's practice the intro. Inji, are you going to play the kick in the intro?
I think so.
Okay, let's see. All right, let's go from the top. So I'll count out 2 bars drums, and then everyone's in together. Okay, 1, a 2, a 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. That sounds pretty good, you guys. Alright. Okay, go ahead. Vocals. So we're gonna do 3 times and then switch drums. Okay. So for the solos, we have 3 choruses of solo. Let's start without vocal solo, no vocal solo first time. If you want to do vocal solo, you tell me, but you don't have to. Okay, all right. So no vocal solo for each. So that means we're gonna divide the 3 choruses between keyboard and guitar. Sometimes keyboard will be shorter, sometimes guitar will be shorter. So first time we'll have keyboard 1 chorus, first ending, and then guitar solo 2 choruses through the second ending, and then all the way to the third ending. Okay, and then back to vocal. Everyone ready? And you check. If you need more or less, just let me know, and I'll go change the volume. Okay, here we go from the top. 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Now you也感到白杨爱是弹出了所大地不带，他路他邦 will wait， 马上看到意外，是地名啊报道，好像的年迈，明白。
Yeah, cool. Okay, good. So, yeah, EJ, basically everybody look to Dan on the keyboards for the last two chords. You nailed it, but yeah, he's going to be directing the head
Okay.
nod for those last two chords.
Alright. It doesn't, yeah, because it didn't say.
It didn't say it's
there's
a
no
fermata.
fermata.
We're treating it as one. We're adding fermatas.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that's solid. It's a little slow, so we're gonna go faster. It's gonna make the 6/8 harder to articulate together, but I think it'll help to play the bossa feel a little faster. But that's basically pretty solid. AJ, a couple things. When you're using the hi-hat, I want you to play open hi-hat slightly for some variations and create some accents. Right now, the sections where you use the hi-hat, especially when she's not singing and he's soloing, or if he's soloing, it feels too dry.
Too dry?
Meaning it's all staccato and really tight hi-hat sound. I'm not saying you should play sloshy, but I'm saying you should use some accents or open hi-hats to create variations and create a sound that's more versatile.
Okay.
Instead of just timekeeping, but have more colors in your hi-hat sound.
Okay.
Because you're using cross stick, so the left hand is more limited with colors. So the
Right.
hi-hat has to be more expressive.
Okay.
Okay. And then third ending, is that a groove or a break?
That's a break
Right.
before the fill.
Yeah.
Okay.
So make sure you cut out there, right? So we get dee dee, so dee dee ba ba, wash fill. It should really feel like a break. Yeah. And for the most part, I think that the time is good. Just those transitions kind of caught you sometimes.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, for Daniel, I kind of gave some comments already last time. You can do even more in terms of filling at A, B, and C.
Oh, okay.
Inside, in between the vocals. So Kellen will just be comping, and you can do more in terms of filling.
Okay.
Like single note stuff, like soloistic fills. Yeah. All right, Kellen. So I think that time was a longer solo, right?
Yeah.
And I think you did a really good job of like making your note choice very clear, like using the Dorian note on the one, going back to D flat for the chord tones where it needs to be, using the C flat, the blue note on the D flat chord, using the E natural, the leading tone on the 5 chord.
Yeah.
All of that's really well done, and you're negotiating it well in phrases too. So I think what we can talk about next, since you already covered note choice and making that clear, the other thing to cover, I think, is finding ways to change your texture as well for longer solos, especially when we go to a 3-chorus solo. So in other words, what you had to build, right? You're not doing different note choices the second chorus. So what can we do differently? Maybe like octave double stops, jazz style, but that sounds good on this tune because it's a blues kind of vocabulary. You can so it's like a lot more simple phrasing because you're playing 2 strings, but that would be a nice option to change your texture. Because what you're doing now is basically just range or like intensity of rhythm, but we can also change texture. He transcribed the keyboard solo, so what we're going to do is we're going to give 2 choruses to Daniel first, and then 1 chorus. And you can hear him playing, it's a lot of like double stops for like a blues note with a drone, that kind of thing. And you can do that too on guitar. It might be double stops within your scales. I mean thirds
Yeah.
or sixths kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or it might even be like that blues position where you just hang a top note on like a drone on the top string and then play little pentatonic things in between. So all of those textures will work really well and make a good contrast with your original texture. So you can come back to it in a long solo. All right, timing. I want to talk about one thing with the way you interpret the drum intro. So I'm going to come next to you and look at your chart. So really good overall. When you do,
This part?
yeah. So
Yeah.
when you do this on the record, you hear a setup. But are you thinking of that as a pickup or as a downbeat? How are you phrasing this?
That's a pickup, like the
Right, but
double stroke.
correct. But on the record, so it's 4 notes. It's 4 notes.
Yeah.
On the record, they basically, in my interpretation, that's a fermata.
Right. That's why.
Right? Everyone's
That's
looking.
how I felt.
But we're playing in time,
Yeah.
so
yeah.
you don't have that space. So in other words,
Okay.
that double stroke roll
Mhm.
has to go right after maybe a hi hat.
Yeah.
Right? Da da
Yeah.
and that's going to be how they come in.
Right.
So
right.
the accent is after the double stroke roll.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's not going to sound like the record, not exactly. Okay, so Yiching, I think for you, just thinking more about your vibrato. Like most of the phrases end with long notes, sometimes lower, sometimes higher, but just use a little bit more vibrato on the long notes. The melody's good. Sometimes after the solo, like your pickup notes was just like 1/8 note too late or something, and the different lyric was on beat 1. So just make sure that when you have the pickup note, is it 3 notes or is it 2 notes, right? So letter G is do do it a D, but then 74 is da 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 da. So just making sure that the right pickup note goes before beat 1. Yeah. Okay, guys, let's go from the top. So I'm going to think of the bossa tempo first. After that, I'm going to think about the triplets. So it's much faster now. Yes, Daniel?
Were you wanting me to do the transcription?
Yeah, is that okay? The
Yeah,
tempo?
that's fine. That's fine.
Because I want people to hear the textures in there. So, ready? A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
记得三百又百，一百三百所有的200，
Yeah.
要懂当 kiss，那
one more with this group, and then we're gonna switch drums and switch vocals. Okay. So Yuching, it's good. Okay. Yeah, the vibrato is just about kind of giving more shape to the sound, more long notes at the end. So I know that depends on your placement. If it's gonna be the E flat, the G, or the B flat, it's all a little bit different for vibrato. I think I want to make a comment to Yuching and to Kellen about feeling the pulse in two. And I think it relates to the way you start singing after the solo, the pickup notes, and I think it relates to the way you comp when he's soloing. So for Yuching, in the third ending, he's not playing any drum beat. It's a pause, drum fill. So you have to tap your foot in half notes. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So your pickup note is right after the foot. So the end of his solo goes. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have to tap your foot, and that way you're always gonna be right with your rhythm. But if you're listening for the drums, he's not playing it in that bar, so you have to internalize that. And Kellen, the way it relates to your comping is, even for that typical bossa pattern, if you're tapping your foot in quarters, which is a time signature, then it's like every upbeat feels the same. It's just after a foot, like they're both kind of located in between a quarter note. But if you're tapping in half notes, then the end of 3 and the end of 4, they feel different. Like one's right after the foot, and then one's right before the next one. So it gives it an internalized pulse that's more like instead of and. So I want to suggest for you to do that during the solo. Like really tap the 2 feel, and play the same thing with your hands. And I think it's a different experience. Regarding so in his solo you were holding the pick but playing fingers, right? Or were you not holding the pick? Okay. Now one thing is I noticed it starts to go in this direction instead of through the strings a little bit. And I think that has to do also with the way you're tapping your foot, because you're feeling upbeats kind of off the quarter note. And so as much as you kind of want, I know the string action is lower, it's not an acoustic guitar with a sound hole where you can really follow through the strings, but I want to avoid any sort of direction this way. That's not what you're doing, I'm exaggerating a lot, but I think when you do this, it happens more because the hand doesn't follow through with the middle finger the way it does with the index. So maybe go back to finger style, and you get more of this motion, less of pulling on it. But my main thing is just feeling the pulsing too. The stuff that I asked for in the solo, totally delivered that. That's awesome. We're gonna do now a 2-chorus guitar once again, okay? So just suggest to feel the pulsing too when you're doing the comping pattern. And then I want to offer a suggestion for letter G and letter H, because they change grooves there. You hear the ki-kum, kum, ki-kum, kum. So it's a totally different space in the bass and the keyboard. Let's do a specific pattern on G and H, which is going to be kind of like a modern, it's not bossa nova, but it's sort of a more modern pattern that goes well with that. Do ki, 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 ki. Yeah, so you're playing upbeat eighth notes. Yeah, let's try that on G and H. Alright, so this will be the last one before we switch. Okay, ready? So it's going to be 1 chorus keyboard, then 2 choruses guitar. Okay, from the top. 1, 2. Okay. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's gonna be time to switch vocal and drums, okay? So Ingje, yeah, that's pretty solid, okay? And Yuchin, so you're tapping your foot, but you just didn't sing the pickup. Es un cantao, right? But you still feel it the way I have to. Yeah, Kellen, that's the heartbeat of the music, so that's why I think it's important to point out. I think we're gonna do keyboard solo first, because I think that dynamic on the guitar being naturally a louder solo section, that'll be good after keyboard. So keyboard
I
first.
think that one.
And yeah, that pattern at G and H, I think it's really cool. But at I, which is the last bridge, they go back to the normal bass line. So let's go back to our typical bossa pattern. And then another thing with that G and H thing, you see how the C is anticipated as a break? Where was it? Right? So let's change all the chords before the bar line. So we go F D, king, 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 change one. Exactly, right. Right, it sets up the way the C goes, yeah. Okay, so we got 3 more performances to get through. So at this point, guitar and keyboard, you guys decide amongst yourselves who wants a shorter or a longer, or do you want all 3? Actually, I have to ask Sanjay first. Are you gonna do a vocal solo today? Not the first time. Okay, he said no. So it's gonna be just keyboard or guitar. Always keyboard first if it's gonna be both. So decide amongst yourselves who wants to solo, and is it gonna be 1 plus 2 or 2 plus 1 or just all 3 or just all 3?
Whatever.
If you want me to decide, I can decide.
Oh, I decide.
Okay, so let's do. Is that okay? All right, so let's do 2 and 1 this time, and then later we'll go 3 and 3. So for this time, 2 keyboard, then 1 guitar. Lychee, any questions?
No.
Okay, let's get started. Remember, 2 bars of drums by yourself. Okay, I'm counting. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Es un casado de parti passato se vida na mão. Na porta quente, navio. Era da baia viaggiata giù la soldati volta. Da volta viver. J'ai des gris abondants, vivo sto chiamando, bien bye. Pensato sembina na mão, na porta quente, navio. Era da baia viaggiata giù la soldati in porta. Da Rotterdam vivei, mas escutava da. J'ai des gris apatah di bosong jam nyaman nyabai
Good. Yeah. Yeah, Kellen, I thought the ending line was really tight that time. Especially on guitar. Like sometimes we've been kind of, leading each other through that line, but that time I thought it was really tight on guitar. Okay, so now we're gonna switch it. Length of solos. It's gonna be just one keyboard and then two guitars. Put in that order. So Lichi, I think the groove is mostly cool. I think your variations are interesting. Like sometimes you do a double time or 16th note lick as a fill. I think that's cool. Once in a while, you rush a little bit in your fills, but it's pretty good today. Okay. One problem is third ending. It's a break. It's not a groove. So even though the energy is going up in the solo, we break the groove there on third ending, and then play the fill. Okay. Another thing is you're interpreting the melody, which is normally okay. Boo ba. You're doing hits with his melody. But in this arrangement, it's not happening, and nobody else is doing it. They're resting. So I'm talking about, like in letter A, all those breaks. 26. You're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then you play 3 and 4 and, but don't do it. Just come in on 1. Just because that's this particular arrangement. That's normally a good idea when you interpret these tunes, but not in this chart. Okay. Yeah, that's the main thing. I think the intro came out not as tight as the ending, but the intro was okay. By the way, Lichi, the last two chords, look at Daniel. He's gonna nod. Those are gonna be on cue, like if it's a fermata. Last two hits. Yeah, those are on cue by him. Okay. All right. Here we go. Second time. And for the vocal Shenjang, the octave sounds good. Yeah, the timing sounds good. Control of your voice sounds good. I don't speak Portuguese, so I cannot help you with the lyrics.
Yeah.
Do you have any trouble with that? No. Okay, it sounds good to me. All right. Here we go from the top. One keyboard, two guitars. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Essa cansada-me pagi passado se não vê mais na porta que navio era trabalha viaggiata giù la saudade voltar da Utabam viu bem. Mas a voltar, gente a batar, vivo só minha bai. Esang kesananya pagi pasado terina naman Naborda cash navio E da trabalha viaggiata giù la soda di borda Taruta pam vive Na sam kerja Sediri apata Di bos penjam nyaman Nyambai
Alright, okay. So we're gonna go one more time. Now I forgot I was gonna give 3 and 3, but I failed to do so. Anyone want to take the 3-chorus solo for this last performance? Sure. You need money mo? Okay, you got it, Cohen. So, Zhengjiang, on the after the solo, you kind of wasn't in the groove. Your pickup. The pickup note was it was a little bit out of the groove. But in general, your time feels always good. So just make sure you know that the band's gonna stop. They don't play the drum beat in that part. So it's whole note 1, 2, 3. Exactly. Yeah. So that was a little bit. It was a little bit off. Lichi, I want to talk about the dynamics for a longer solo. Because I feel like, I like that when he played his second chorus, you kept it on the ride. Because if you go back to hi-hat, it feels like it's a new solo, it starts over. But then what happened was you reached your high point too early. Right? So he's going to do 3-chorus solo. So maybe we think about, yeah, but then it's going up and down. So I don't know if it should build up and down or just up. So maybe we stay hi-hat cross stick, and then maybe hi-hat with snare. And more open hi-hat accents are very. And then maybe 3rd chorus just ride the whole time. So just making it feel like it's building for longer. Yes.
Dan has a question about the last 2 chords, E flat and E. The tension is a little high. Just want to make sure it's not.
We were kind of having a debate. I was thinking it should be like an E flat because it's like a sus.
It doesn't sound like that on the record, though. It sounds
It's a
like
half step.
sounds like listen to the record. I don't know.
Is it?
I think it's just a tension note.
Yeah, it's like that's why they wrote a slash chord, but it's just diminished. So think of it like F
You
flat,
diminish?
D flat over F flat, and then it's
Like I have a slash chord.
yeah.
And let me see your voice thing.
Well, I'm playing this.
Just the upper structure. Oh, cool. Yeah. We'll keep it one more time like that, Daniel.
Okay.
All right, let's go from the top. Yeah. Good. All right, last time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Esang kesananya pagi pasado terina naman Naborda cash navio E da trabalha viaggiata giù la soda di borda Taruta pam vive Borda, check di abatan Di botong jamnya nyabai. Casada pagi passato sa vida naman na porta che navio era tabaya viaggiata giù la soldati porta da pan viu veio ma sempre andavo da cheio de grito abatado di Boston que a minha Bahia.
What You Won't Do for Love. Okay, it's another classic male vocal key, but there is some background harmony. It's not in the chart, so prepare to sing background vocals for the other music, okay? Alright guys, good. I think we ended in a good place. Timing was better on the pickup
Like 13, 5, 9 over a major chord with no fifth.
So you're hearing it like an E chord, yeah. Preposition.
Yeah, because that's the bass line. It's separated, just a major chord and minor third below, which always means diminished.
Yeah, but like.
But you're talking about E diminished?
Because you're not playing diminished chord tone.
Dominant.
Yeah, dominant diminished chord.
I know what the chord is. It's right. There's no chord tone. Right?
That's why I said think about it as, no, it's a third, a 13, and a flat 9.
There's no chord tone. That's what I'm saying. It's all like extensions, right?
Right.
I mean, it's very distant.
It's implied in he's saying imply
But there's no
this,
fifth. It's just implying no
and then
fifth.
play this. So it's it's all extensions. It's an upper structure. It's an incomplete. So if you assume this shell, this is a
I
major
hear it.
third 13.
I hear it now, but
With
that's
that note,
not
right.
how it's written.
Yeah.
Like it's written just D flat. So
It's
I read it like D flat triad
It's an
over E.
incomplete voicing for that harmony.
I
Yeah,
get it.
Yeah,
now.
mine says D flat over E,
There's
and
thing-
that's why I
there's
said
thing-
think about it like D flat over F flat, because those are all chord tones of F flat, you know.
Oh, okay.
Well, I wouldn't call a 13 and a flat 9 a chord tone. That's what he's saying. Like,
But they're the
extensions,
extensions, you know. In 13 and flat 9 with a major third, it just implies that they're diminished.
Like it
Like listen.
just like a funky voicing, you know. It's cool. But
Well, I think that's why they wrote it like
just starts
they
with-
wrote it like a slash chord because it's. I think she probably just played D flat and then the bass player played E and then it just became.
That could be, yeah.
Like if you ever listen to actual proof, it's like Herbie's playing triads and then the bass player's playing a bass line. So if you look at a chart, it's all these crazy chord voicings, but he's just playing minor chords and stuff. You know?
It's just like a very dissonant because you have two minor not like there and there.
Yeah. But it leads into the sus chord super well. I think it's just about where it's going. I don't know. I always like chords like that.